Party here. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to a new week. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Excited for today's guest because she is the Emmy nominated host of the Michelle Collins Show on Sirius XM. Boom, comedian, podcaster, host, radio personality. Michelle Collins is here. I know. I'm excited too. Huge fan. Glad she's stopping by. You guys know the drill. Questions, hit me below. Comments, hit me below. And again, thank you for watching. She's awesome. Awesome. We've watched her for years. I mean, she's like the queen of the after show. We're going to talk about that, but let's bring her in. Bam! Go live with Michelle. Michelle. Hey!
Hi, Jason. Let me move the phone away. Hi.
Hi, Michelle. Happy Monday. Welcome to Jason Unleashed.
Thank you. I have to say that, thank you for having me, first of all, but right off the bat, the echo in your beautiful cavernous home is intimidating. I mean, just, how big is it?
Okay, well, first of all, the echo is the bane of my existence. Secondly, this is like a 7,000-foot house, so I don't even know. I've tried. I've tried to put socks down, carpets, dogs, everything to absorb the sound, and it's just not working. So here we are.
No, but I think it's, you're like the king of Versailles. You know what I'm saying? We're like, why should you should let everyone know about your wrought iron staircase, which I'm like shitting in my pants. It's so nice. Your beautiful sofa bed, your molding there. It's a beautiful home. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'm selling it, so hey, I'm glad someone. Yes, I'm.
What are you asking, Jason? What are you asking for it?
I'm asking for In-N-Out Burger and just some really good sex. Just kidding. No.
Okay, well, listen, I know people. Let me call my agent and see what we can figure out. How have you been? What's going on?
I've been great. I'm so happy to have you here. Huge fan. I've been good. What fresh hell has quarantine unleashed in your life?
Fresh hell. Well, not really that much. I mean, listen, I'm lucky in that even though I don't have an intimidating echo in my home, I have roof space. I have very high ceilings. You can see my little staircase here that goes up to the roof. There are my Clorox wipes also, for those of you wondering. My printer. I don't know. I've been okay, actually. I swear to you.
Yeah.
Like, it was tough. I think that, weirdly, time is really going quickly now. Isn't it for you, too?
I don't even know what day it is sometimes. It's like time doesn't exist. I feel like I'm 50 and I'm only 40. It's like in the last 4 months, I feel like I've aged.
Same. Can I ask a personal question?
Go for it.
Do you look, I mean, you're gorgeous, obviously. Do you use any sort of Botox or anything like that, or no?
No, and you know and you're like the fifth person to ask me that, Michelle. What I do is I use an alpha hydroxy and do the neck thing.
I love that thing. That's the facialist thing.
Right, and then my natural blackness is, my superpowers. My superpowers.
If you had a skincare line called Natural Blackness with your beautiful face on the label, I would problematically buy it all up, and people would be like, I don't think you're allowed to buy all of them. I'm going, why not? I need it. I need all of it. I haven't gotten Botox in 6 or 7 months, but I do feel like it's not bad.
You don't need it. No, you don't need it, and you are a glamazon. Okay, so let's get into how you have been my girl crush since since Best Week Ever.
Thank you. Wow, really going back, Jason.
No, yeah, let's go back because you were the managing editor of that show, and I have to say that show was like the precursor for so many moments that people have had on YouTube. Like no one gave a shit about pop culture the way Best Week Ever gave a shit about pop culture, and then all of a sudden, of course, all these people are like, oh my god, pop culture, but managing editor, one of the cockroaches of VH1. You've had this career. Yeah, you've had this career that has seen you be the jack of all trades, from podcaster to writer to amazing comedian to talk show host to just everything. How, when you look back on your career, like, do you stop and think like, wow, I'm a big deal?
That's really funny that you say that because no. And I wonder if that's my own. I have a lot of theories about this business, and I wonder if you agree with me, where I think people who really succeed and who really do great, it's like their energy, the confidence that fuels them of like, yeah, I am a big deal. That other big people in meetings will feel that and go, we got to hire this person. Like, they're a big deal. And my whole thing is I'm like, they're always happy to work, very grateful for my career, don't take it for granted, certainly, but I don't ever consider myself ever a big deal. And I actually find it weird if people recognize me, and with Sirius lately, people will hear my voice. And I've had it happen at the outlets where people will come over and go, "Are you Michelle?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like,
Which one? Wait,
I
which
really need
outlet?
you. Sawgrass Mills, back when we were able
Okay.
to travel. I'm a Miami girl, born and raised,
Yeah.
so Sawgrass Mills. But that's like when that happens, I'm not just saying it to be like, cute. I genuinely like am confused. I don't really get it. But Best Week Ever was one of the best jobs that anyone could ever have had. I'm so lucky and grateful that I got a chance to work there because it was so much fun. There were no rules. They really let you comedically do whatever you wanted. And I can tell you from experience that really happens at very few jobs where you can
It
just be
does, right.
yourself. Right?
Word, the gospel, yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you mentioned Sirius XM. Let's talk about that because I listen daily. You're the Michelle Collins Show, Sirius XM, 2018. Here you are. Radio is a completely different beast than television, right?
Very much. Yeah.
Are you loving it?
You know what's funny? I am. And it's, as I was talking about VH1, actually, Sirius is the only other job I've ever had where I've not gotten notes. You know what I mean? Where they're like, say what you want. The amazing thing about radio, normally my show is 3 hours long, but because of coronavirus, we're only doing 8 to 10. And it's a lot of time to fill. And I never have notes. My comedy as well is very freestyle. Like I just kind of spit out what comes to my mind. And so to fill that amount of time is hard. And not for me because I never shut the fuck up, pardon my language. But, for most people, I think it would be hard. And I love it. It really gives me freedom. I'm able to also physically do voices and things that I don't think I'd be as confident to do like on a television set. You know what I mean? And Jace, it's only me.
Right.
I have my producers there, but I've been on panel shows, The View, where the View notes are always stop talking over each other and talking over. And here it's like just me being able to be myself and not and not feel judged too, which is nice. So yeah, I love it.
I feel you on the whole notes thing because as talent, and for those watching, talent are people who are bought by people to display their talent. Notes are the worst because you work so hard to be great at what you do. You work so hard to be authentic and to be present and to really it's not about us, it's about the audience. And then you have these producers sometimes that they don't get the nuance it takes to be on camera. And so when you end up walking away sometimes feeling like you weren't your best self, you didn't do your best work, you weren't able to connect because of fear that you might say the wrong thing. And the outlet you're at. You know what you can and cannot do, but sometimes notes are like, just chill. Like Beyonce says, just press play and I'll do the rest, just press play.
That's
Just press
right.
record.
Well, but
Yeah.
that's the thing is sometimes you'll get, it depends again on the show and like where you work, but sometimes you'll have producers who, how do I put this? Like they wish that they were the ones on camera. So goodbye. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But that's
yes.
I think a lot of people, and this is not, and I've had amazing producers. I've been very lucky, but I've had some not as great ones who really want to change who I am. And I'm going, listen, you are never going to do that. If I'm not the right person, then let's just call it a wash and get someone else in here.
Right.
But I think a lot of people who get into the business, it happens in publicity a lot, are people who wish that they were, on camera doing things. Doesn't happen for them, so they're adjacently involved, and then they want their mark to be put on it.
Right.
It's all about ego, and I'm sure you've had, and you're in LA, right? Yeah, I could tell by the house.
Yeah, Michelle, you are truer words, and it's almost as if they weaponize that maybe jealousy or a missed opportunity against you, and it does a disservice to everything. It does a disservice to the final product because at the end of the day, you also have a network that's like, hey, we have a product to put out and a show to put on, and ratings to get, and an Emmy to win. So it's the worst. But I'm so glad that you're on SiriusXM because a lot of your interviews are very nuanced. You're fun, and if listening to you, Michelle, and people are always like, Jason's so nice to his guests, but listening to you, you're home. I feel as if it feels like so authentic and organic. I'm sure you feel that.
Thank you. By the way, I had no idea when I signed up for this IG Live, and I know you, and I know we share a mutual friend who adores you, our friend Ben. But I did not know that I was stepping into arguably like my in memoriam speech. It's the nicest. Nicer things have never been said about me ever. I'm sort of wowed by this. No, you know what's funny with interviews? how do I put this? Like, I'm a warm person. When I mean, I'm nice. I open nice with almost everybody. You know, listen, you ask the girls at Chipotle their favorite customer, you know it's me. I mean, do I need to tell you it's me? Because I like to know people. I like to be warm towards people. I like to also be liked. I'm, you know, not normal in that way. When I'm not liked, it doesn't end well. You know what I'm saying? Like, when there's tension, it's not great. But when you're interviewing someone, I really feel like you have to, I call it like first date energy almost, where you have to give them the space to shine, let them talk. Sometimes you can tell when you get a talker, hello. They don't let the other person talk, whatever it is. But yeah, it's about making them feel comfortable. And 98% of the time, that tactic really works, where, you know, you can get someone on your side, and by the time they leave, they feel like they know you. It's very safe, over coffee date kind of energy.
Right.
Sometimes, again, it's like with people. Sometimes you have assholes, and sometimes everyone else is wonderful. I will say most people are wonderful.
They are.
Genuinely.
They are, and people ask me like, "Who's the hardest interview you've ever had?" Like, I don't. The person that doesn't give you anything. That doesn't give you anything. You ask a question, and it's not even like a closed-ended question. It's like a very like, "Let's talk," and they're like, beer." Really? Like, really? Come on. It's like stars. Some stars are the worst.
Listen. You know, those people, though, there are certain people who are just like not chatty people. But I've had folks come in. I mean, I've said this before on the air, so I will spill a little tea here. This is now, it used to be a blind item. Now it's a full-sided item. But I had the actress Gillian Anderson. The people love Gillian. I had her on my radio show. And the only reason why I feel safe saying this is because Andy Cohen also called her out as being one of his worst interviews. And I was like, woo, like.
Co-sign.
I was like, all right, I guess I'll create a co-enemy with Andy. Like, as long as he's on my side, I feel good, you know? But she came in and just, from the top, I think what had happened was Netflix didn't, this is what it was, Netflix hadn't sent me the screener. So I had no basis. And when I think of her, and I'm a fan of hers, by the way, I don't think big comedic actress.
Right, you think X-Files.
X-Files, the fall, soft-spoken, pretty, you know, energy. So I noticed on her Wikipedia page that the very first sentence said that she had been arrested when she was a teenager. So I was like, question one, check. Like the laziest interviewer. I was like, oh, perfect. I made it an inch into her wiki page, and I was like, this interview is going to rate itself. Like, it'll be so easy. So she was there with the little boy from Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Another laugh a minute riot fest. Anyway, Asa what's his name? Asa Butterfeld.
Butterfeld, yeah.
And they sit down, and, you know, I think I'm so charming. You know, I'm like, who's more charming than me? But it's a lot of people. So I sit down, and I'm like, Jillian. I'm like, oh, Jillian Anderson. I said, tell me, like, why were you arrested when you were 15 years old? And Jason, literally, it was like the wall came down. She flips to her publicist. She goes, why does everybody ask me that? All the lazy interviewers. I was like, oops. And she shut down not only herself, but also Asa, because he probably felt, I mean, he's also like a strange kid, but I think he probably felt uncomfortable because she was being so rude.
Right.
And when you get people like that, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to change you. Like, this is who you are, you know?
Yeah.
But it was disappointing, and it was really hard to turn that around, and spoiler alert, we did not. And we never aired it.
That part. Good. Look, I'll do you one better. I walked up to Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child, and no, it gets better, live on TV, and so Jennifer Hudson had been rumored to be asked by Aretha Franklin to play her in the biopic that's coming out, right?
Right.
I had my cards mixed up with, it was at a Motown event. I had my cards mixed up with Jennifer Hudson and Michelle Williams. I was frazzled. Tell me why. I said, Michelle, it must be so amazing that the late Aretha Franklin asked you to play her in her biopic. Michelle, she was like, that wasn't me, and then sachets away.
I mean, hasn't Michelle Williams been through enough? Like, this poor woman, of all the people on earth that you could fuck around with, she has a hashtag after her, hashtag poor Michelle. Did you know that when people used to listen to my show, do you know the picture? This is how shitty my career is. They would pull poor Michelle's picture up. People thought Michelle Williams had a radio show for a year, and they're, you know, Hyundai Tucson's or whatever it is. It's true. In case she walked away. You deserve that, though. That's
I know. But my producer's like, oh, I've never seen someone's face like melt off. But you know what? It's okay.
God.
Look. It's how you come back, and your comeback has been awesome. You are booked and busy. Midnight Snack, hello, podcast. Let's talk about it. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we get you comedy with you on a Tuesday, a friend on a Thursday, and it's glorious. The genesis of this podcast, Michelle. We need more.
Wow, God, you're very good at your job, by the way. You're really the energy levels. I like have to go on a jog after this or something. I'm just like, I feel
Thank
great.
you.
You're so sweet to ask me. So yes, I launched it last week. First guest was Jared Freed. This week it's Joel Kim Booster, the comedian. I actually literally just wrapped recording it a half an hour before this started. You know, I'm finding my footing with it because the reason why I stopped the podcast initially was that to do 3 hours a day of my radio show and then scrape the bottom of the barrel for material, like fresh material for podcast, was, I actually found my limit. I was like, that's really hard for me. Now that we're in quarantine, I'm only doing a 2-hour show. I'm like, okay, I can actually make this work, but it's still been a bit of a challenge. Like last week's episode was great. I think this week's is really going to be great, but I'm saying like, I have to start taking notes and actually like, you know, doing a little prep outside of like Gillian Anderson style, you know, like 5 minutes of prep.
But you're busy though. I mean, you do a lot, and like I said, it's you when you what we're doing now, or any kind of endeavor like that, takes a lot out of you. And a radio show, you could work with producers, but you want to be informed. You want to be as well educated and well versed in your subjects, and that takes. No one understands the amount of prep that it takes to interview someone as yourself, and what you have to watch, and just really to make sure you have like the best 3-4 minutes of time with that guest, because there's a lot that goes into it. So you're good, but
Oh my God, thank you.
you're also like the queen of the after show.
Depends who you ask. Yes, I have done an after show or two in my career, yeah.
So, 90 Day Fiance, you got to give me, I have never watched an episode. My twin brother is the biggest fan of 90 Day Fiance. When I said I was interviewing you, he nearly had
What?
I don't know, a hands-free orgasm. Yes, because he's
HFO?
obsessed. Yeah, an HFO.
Wow.
I've never seen an episode. Why is this a phenomenon?
So 90 Day, I got to tell you, I think what's great about it and what makes it interesting is that you're seeing different cultures. Like I love to date guys from overseas. I'm waiting for 90 Day to actually come after me to like be on it as a contestant or whatever you want to call it. But it's a show where really you're watching to see who's really in love and who is bullshitting for a green card. So the fact that the setup is already someone is probably lying. And like a lot of these couples are in love naturally, and then a lot of them are poor 22-year-olds, people from developing countries who fall in love with people 40 years older than them, and you wonder, or 50 or 60 years older, and you're going, now is this love? They met on this, I wonder, let's find out. So I think the show when it started especially was really authentic. And my issue with it, I did do an after show for only a few times. I mean, the fans can be very vicious on that show. I was actually shocked by that, given that I was on The View, which is a show that has plenty of hate directed toward it, right?
Hunger Games. The View, I call The View Hunger Games for ladies.
It really is. And by the way, I'm proud of how I did, even though say what you will, but the 90 Day fans are like Reddit people. It's like not just casual haters. It's really wild. They go after I say contestants, the stars of the show. I don't know what you want to say. So that show for me, when I got the job, I was over the moon excited. Like truly, I thought I'm so lucky to be able to interview these people because I love the show so much. And then the level of toxicness that I got on Twitter and Instagram, nothing like I'd ever experienced before, genuinely. I was just like, it's not worth it. Like the money's not worth it. The exposure, it made me, I think that the producers were spinning their wheels about it. It was not a great experience. Now, someone mentioned After the Bachelor, which was another after show I did moons ago. That was the opposite. That was so much fun. And just the whole vibe was different. It's like every show is its own beast. It's like you just never know what you're going to get into.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the fandoms are like I want to show as you know I'm on RuPaul's Drag Race. You're a fan of the show. We love Drag Race, and we're
Love
going to.
Drag
And
Race.
are you watching All Stars? It's like the best TV ever.
Is it?
Yes. You
Wait,
know,
are you working with them? You're working with the show?
I'm on the show.
Are you on the
So
show?
yeah, I'm one of the muscle guys. I walk around in my underwear, and don't look at my
You're
boob
a
sweat.
muscle guy? I
Yeah.
didn't realize, Jason, I'm going to throw my phone out of my window. Wait, I did not connect it. Of course you are. I knew you from like Entertainment Tonight and your interview stuff. I am actually dizzy.
It's okay. Hey.
Wait.
Okay. Yeah.
So I am watching All Stars. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm about a week behind.
It's okay.
And I think the reason is, look, I thought that the last season of Drag Race was one of the best ever. I think it
Agreed.
Honestly, I can't really, other than the Sherry Pie stuff, which was not the fault of the show,
Right.
I really thought it was phenomenal. And so I think coming off of that season, I've been a little slower to get into All Stars just because I'm like on the high of, you know, Jada and everybody. So it's been slower. But how does the show continue? Like, well, what is it like working on it? That must be so fun.
Oh, I always say it's like a bag of Skittles. You open it up, something yummy and delicious falls out every single day. It's such an honor. I mean, it's a global phenomenon. It's iconic. It's changed the landscape of LGBTQ plus content and culture on television. It's just awesome. It's awesome. You know,
It's
like
Bobby Pride, by the way. And let me also add. Wait, do you know my friend Leland who does the music on it?
I know Leland. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Leland.
Leland's great. But so talking about Pride, you are a staunch ally. You are a staunch advocate for the LGBTQ plus culture, and the conversation, Michelle, now is like, how do people be better allies? And we're seeing, especially with the intersectionality of LGBTQ plus culture and Black Lives Matter, there's so much similarity right now, naturally, inherently. For yourself, what does a good ally look like? Because it's different for everybody.
Great question, actually. You know, for me, look, the way that I look at it with what I do is if I'm not using my platforms as a way to help communities or people who need attention or who need money or whatever it is, then I'm not a good ally. That's just how I look at it. And I've always been, like with Sirius especially, because I have more control over who comes on the show and what we talk about, I've been extremely conscious way before, you know, the protests for these past 2 months, really since the show started, to make sure that my guests have always been from all backgrounds, all genders, all sexualities, and opening up the dialogue, because the truth is we still live in a very ignorant on a very ignorant planet, and especially a very ignorant country. And my show does go out to a lot of people who maybe aren't exposed daily to voices like ours that are within the community or whatever. So that's how, for me personally, just being an ally is about raising other people up and using whatever your privilege is. In my case, I'm a straight white woman with a radio show where I don't know how many people listen, they don't tell me, but I want to be able to use that to get others to a higher place. But I also don't want that to sound cocky at all, because it's certainly not coming from that place at all.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's just,
yeah.
I don't know. I also think, I mean, real talk is that comedically speaking, like, I would not have a career without the gay community, period. Like, I wouldn't have this staircase or those Clorox wipes or this spindrift or any of it. This frog that I bought at Epcot Center, none of it. So I feel like I owe it to the community in many ways too, to like have my voice help and raise and lift. But I'm open. I would love to hear from you. What do you think makes people a better ally? It's also about, I think, donating money, which I do too. Protesting, certainly. But really, how can people these days mesh better? What do you think?
I think, well, one, thank you for all you do. One, two, you know, for me, it's, I think, listening. I think one of the things that I've had to struggle with other people is just not being seen or heard in a way that is meaningful, because not everyone is looking for a handout, right? To me, being able to just be listened to and have someone be interested in my experience, just like I'm a huge supporter of women's rights. Me listening to the struggles of women and being a safe space for them to tell their stories is so priceless and means so much. You know, yeah, to give and to protest and to post a black square or all that's great, but to have an honest human connection in a space that's real time, that means a lot too. So I mean, allyship is different for everyone, but for myself, it's just people listening is important. And
Yeah,
then because from there you find solutions. From there you have conversations that will elicit solutions and actionable items of how to move forward in some capacity. You know, does that make sense?
oh,
So
100%. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I think my issue, not issue, but my question about us being good people is how do we then, other than offer support, let's say, to like the children of bigots who
yeah.
don't want to, I'm trying to think like for the future, right?
Mhm.
Making this a country where we have everyone accepted, able to live equally, etc. Where do we begin at the moment? Because I feel like obviously getting the president out, duh. Like step number one, get him the hell out of there. But it's so much bigger of an issue than that. And if
Mhm.
anything, I just feel like the platform that he's given bigots in this country,
Yeah.
it's not going to go away if he loses the presidency, right? So
No.
what really, how do we really realistically, and I'm not a politician, I've never wanted to be, get people to a place where they just realize that they're comfortable with their neighbors being gay or black or trans or whatever it is. My fear is, and I don't want to sound pessimistic, but I just am like, how do we as liberal, accepting people spread that to people who don't want to listen?
Right. Well, one, that's not pessimistic. That's or cynical. That's real. And
Yeah.
because time and time again we have been shown that to be real. It's a real thing. Two, consistent conversation. It's like a muscle, right? The more you work it out, the stronger it gets.
I
And
agree.
that's all you have is your voice and to be an example. And for however powerful that is or however effective that is, that's sometimes all we can give, and just repetition and keep on spreading the message and it's like um, HIV AIDS in the 90s and the 80s. People were dying, and I mean you people still die of from HIV and AIDS,
Yeah, of course.
but from hearing over and over again the precautions we need to take for prevention, and then really driving that home, that's the only way. Same thing with COVID. Keep your ass at home. Wear a mask. It's like you have to constantly be inundated with those
Um,
messages.
the mask thing for me has been, I think, what I've realized is like, oh, we're just totally fucked. I mean, not to
Right.
sound, I just genuinely am so shocked
Yeah.
that like there is just people who are denying. I mean, we should have known with climate change, right? With people who are just like, that's not a real thing. But the simplest thing in the world is to just put the shit over your mouth and save a life.
Keep
It's
it
the
pushing.
easiest thing. Do what you think I like? I have a very manly jaw. Do you think I like putting a big piece of paper over it? I don't love it. It doesn't help me. I can't really contour anymore. You know, it's a big square paper thing, but I do it because it's easy and it's, you know, what we should all be doing. I'm very, I'm really trying to keep my spirits up to the election, to try to keep my energy levels up with everything happening. Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter, Pride, COVID, all of these things that are sort of all, you know, coming at us at the same time. I
Hmm.
think for a reason, actually. I think it's
The
just like a
universe.
reckoning. Yeah.
Oh my God. I have been Michelle. I have been saying that we are absolute. Who are you? We are absolutely in a reckoning. And isn't it interesting how this reckoning has taken place when we've been forced to stay at home and watch it and witness it, and we don't have the time to be
That's right.
busy, and we don't have the time to be distracted with bullshit. We have to sit and the reckoning not only with humanity but with ourselves as well. Like figuring your shit out now, discovering things you never learned about yourself,
Yeah.
dealing, healing, reconnecting. Such a reckoning, huge reckoning. Yes, on the money, boo, on the money.
You get it. It's listen, this is all good. You know, here's my question. Do you think if Obama would have been president, let's say for another 8 years, right? Do you think this would have happened 8 years from now? I forget the pandemic, because I think that would have been a completely different situation, handled a million times better. But you know, I wonder, was this a long time coming? You know, is
Yeah.
this the Tea Party Republicans who have incited hatred amongst, you know, it's like the rise of the Nazi Party, basically.
Hmm.
You know, how did the Nazis become Nazis? It didn't happen overnight.
Right.
And yet it's
Here and
just,
then,
you
yeah.
know, but there's so wonderful people out there. This is what I keep reminding myself. I'm like, You know what? Yes, there are a lot of pieces of shit, but there are so many wonderful, beautiful souls who are fighting for justice and for health and for all the people working these very difficult jobs. I have so much respect for so many people, and I just feel like I don't want to lose that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
lose that optimism, because I think that's like the first step to depression, basically. So I'm trying to
Yeah, well, it's very easy to become depressed in these times, for sure. Want to take a quick second to say what's up to everyone watching, to Luca, Panda, Ronnie. People are really celebrating you in the comments. They love you. And then my DMs are like, you have Michelle Collins on your show? I'm like, yeah, big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, any reason to put makeup on? I got a card delivered to me today. A lot of people were asking about it. Do you want to know what happened? Should I spoil what happened on your show?
Yes.
Because I'm going to talk. I talked about it on the podcast, but it's not out till tomorrow. So I got a real deal, Jason. Do you want to hang up with me? I don't have to tell you. I feel bad.
No. Look, the only time I have to leave is when freaking Instagram says counts me down.
Say no more. I ordered a Lincoln MKC because I'm an asshole, and I got such a good deal on it. It was like the same price as a Chevy, like a cheap Chevy. So I was like, I'll get it. And it got delivered to me today. I ordered it from Carvana. Very nice guy brought it. It's a stunning car. I mean, I was like Howard Hughes in The Aviator, Leo, like feeling the screws along the side. Like, what is this going to be? And I sat in that seat, and it's something that happens to me a lot. Bitch, too big. I was too big for the car. The driver's seat did not push back enough for me to really have comfortable leg space. And the seat was fairly narrow, and I'm not a narrow person, but there was like a gap like this wide between the door and the seat. So my leg felt like it had nowhere to be. It just didn't mesh. So I did, I need to like block my eyes. I did return it. No one look at me. I sent it back. It was fine. The guy didn't even leave. There's such a nice guy. Carvana was awesome. They were so nice. So at the moment, I'm not a car owner.
Well, I like how, I'm 6'3" and try to fit into a Miata, and still try to, I will fit into a Miata. And you should have what you want, and I'm glad that you use Carvana, because I always thought it was like a scam. Like, how are you going to deliver me a car?
They brought a truck. I live on like a narrow street. The truck took up the whole street. The guy was like, like, here's your car, like, let it out. They let me wait. I took it on a test drive. And you know what? This is how you know it's my curse, because I always find shit wrong. You know, I would be like, this, and this. The car was so gorgeous. It drove so beautifully. I was like, I actually was so upset, because I'm like, if these morons would have just added like 3 inches to the side and an inch back, sometimes 3 inches is all it takes, Jason. You know that's true. And so, you know, sometimes that'll make all the difference. And in this case, it really did. So I had to send it back.
Well, so are you gonna get the Chevy then? First of all, you are a Miami girl. How's your mom? How's Judy? How's Judy doing?
Oh my God, you're so nice. Judy is great. She hasn't left the apartment since March 1st or 2nd. She got into a fight with my dad today because the Costco delivery guy put apples instead of peaches. So that was a 4-minute long fight that I was a part of on the phone. And they're good. They're still healthy. Thank God for that. You know, they're taking it seriously. I'm grateful that they are. You know, how are your parents doing?
Well, my parents are great. My mom would never let me send back a car. So don't get a Chevy. I see you in like I don't know. Get it, because my dad was a GM guy. I'm more of a European make. Like, I'm a Hyundai kind of guy.
Oh.
But
I come from a family, we only ever bought American cars. And my dad actually drives an old Cadillac, funny enough, which I call it the daddy caddy, which I like that it sounds sexual, but that's just me anyway. And I happen to love that car, but it's like they're expensive. I mean, the problem is it's going to be a city car, so within 2 days there's going to be a rat in the passenger seat,
probably,
and a hot dog guy in the trunk. Like, it's not going to be nice in a week. So I'm like, I don't want to spend $1 million on a car. Because my brother is like, get a Lexus. I'm going, for what? To go to Costco once a month in Paramus? Like, I don't need some
Paramus in Jersey. In Jersey, I need a car for my Jersey cruises.
It's literally to go to like Nordstrom Racks and Livingston and come home.
I live for the rack. My Nordstrom credit card is the only thing that I'm like proud of. I'm like, I spend money in Nordstrom Rack because it's amazing. And I'm also a Maximisto and a Marshall guy.
You have a
But so,
card for them? No.
yes.
Wow.
But I have great credit. I know. I'm a typical Libra. Love to shop. You know, it's and now Nordstrom Rack makes it so easy. But there's a trick to getting the good shipping. So I throw $100 worth of stuff in the cart
Okay.
to get what I want. Then I just take back what I didn't want because I don't want to pay $8 for shipping. And I know it's a lot. It's a workaround. But hey, you do what you can.
There's the carbon footprint conversation we can save for the after show. I'll tell you what happened to me a couple weeks ago. Is I drove up to Woodbury Commons, the outlet up in Woodbury, New York. And on the way back, I noticed in Bergen County there was a line outside of the Nordstrom Rack. So I peeled rubber to see what was happening. I didn't even know they were open. I would have started my day there. And I walked in, and everything in the store was 40% off. Everything.
Everything. I know. Glorious.
And then the line, I actually couldn't. I can't explain it. It almost made it too panicked for me. It was just too manic and panicked, and I ended up just getting earrings, and I'm not wearing any, and sunglasses, because I just couldn't deal with the dress. It just, everything looked shitty to me. I was like, I don't need anything. I have so much stuff.
Right.
So I didn't buy anything.
Well, good for you. You're a good girl because I would have bought. I would have bought something. I have to ask you.
Yeah.
We talk about comebacks and look, The View, fine. 2015, you were on. It was a moment, but that lighting. Why is everyone orange on The View? What is that? Everyone looks, or even if you're black, you're orange. Who allows that?
It's funny. I've never heard anybody say that before, ever. And I actually always used to say that the lighting on The View I thought was good. I will tell you that, I don't watch it, but having seen stills of myself on that panel, it wasn't great. Having seen stills that are still sometimes used, as you can imagine, and it really horrifies me because I look like Igor from Bride of Frankenstein. It just does something, and also my makeup was never right on that show.
See, I loved your smoky eye.
The what?
I loved your smoky eye. You always had the best lashes and the best smoky eye.
I had my smoky eye was out of an LA forest fire. It was a full chart. It wasn't smoked. It was Pompeii. It was a Pompeii eye.
It was Vesuvius.
Exactly. That was not smoked. There's something happened. I've settled up the smoky eye. See, this is more smoky. This is my own makeup for me. But yeah, I mean, listen, the lighting there, they just want to make everyone look young,
Yeah. Well, I wasn't mad at that. But look, Variety did articles. I mean, when you work in the industry, look, I was let go from an outlet, and it was in the trades. But it's not the setback; it's the comeback. And looking at your career now, looking back on that time, and before everything you did now, any regrets? Anything where you're just damn, or do you feel you know what? It's all good.
Any real regrets, I'm going to save for my book. Am I writing a book? Not yet. One day. But any real things that there are a few things that I do have regrets about, but none that at the moment I want to get into. But
sure.
No, I mean, listen. Look, the way that I looked at being on The View for me was winning the lottery. There's no other way. Now, was I treated in a way that was nice? No, I was not. But no one is there. It's that's part of the boot camp of being on that show, actually, and that has nothing. That's not a Whoopi or Raven thing, because those were my girls on The Views, But there was energy there. It's a haunted set, and
right.
I am so grateful that I was on that show, despite everything that happened. And there were a lot of things that happened that I really think were very ugly. I am. Nobody knew who I was. I went on that show. Really, it was a risk on their part to even hire me for that show. That's how I look at it. Not to say that I wasn't good, but just I wasn't a household name. They usually bring some 80s star, shout out to all of those people who have jobs. But for me, it was a risk for them to hire me. They brought me on. Things happened. I won't get into it here, but I will always be grateful to that show.
Yeah.
Number one, to be able to say that I was on it is a gift. No matter any way you cut it, I'm very lucky to have been a part of that historic show, really.
Right.
And listen, for me, it set me up as someone with a great credit. It's a competitive job to get. I knew that I was lucky when I got hired. there were a million comedians who would have killed for that seat, and that I got it, even for however long I was on it, you can't paint it in any other way as being a blessing. You'd be stupid too. You'd be bitter, honestly. And I'm bitter, but not for that. You know what I mean? Like, genuinely. Yeah.
Emmy nominated Michelle Collins, who has conquered so much. What's next for you? I mean, look, and I say that because I am like you are a connoisseur of pop culture and television. I'm a connoisseur of those people who are a connoisseur of pop culture and television. And you've always been someone to me in my television tapestry that I've just, even when you're on Wendy and even when you're on Fox News, and like you've always just had.
Talk about those days. By the way, that was before it was. We're talking before 2009.
Right. Yeah.
As like a comedian, which I stopped doing. I stopped doing it politically, just so people know.
But again, like magical for television. A book would be great from you. They said people would say they would buy your book, but what does Michelle Collins want? What do you want?
You want to know what I really want? That's a great question. My dream has always been to have a late night show, to basically do what I do at Sirius on TV and late at night. And I'm talking, it can be in the Byron Allen time slot. Give me the 3 a.m. I'm not about it.
Byron Allen.
Who I work for, by the way. You know, I have a thing where I get very annoyed when I do believe there is a sexism in the industry where women are saved for the sun being in the sky, and when the sun sets, the men come out. Right. And that is just across the board. They are only now starting to let women host game shows. That is, I think, Jane from Hollywood Game Night, Jane Lynch, and Elizabeth Banks, who's doing Press Your Luck, which I think is great. But how many game shows have there been over the decades, and how many women have actually sat down and hosted them? None. You know, so really, like, I would like to be given the opportunity to be my funny self, be natural. I would love it if a streaming platform would trust my stand-up enough to know that even though it's not written, it'll be one of the funnier things they've seen, because I think people who've seen me live know that it's nothing like my radio show. It's totally like a rap battle or something. It's just off the cuff and fun. But I really wish that networks would give more, and I hate to sound, I'm not bitter about being a woman. I'm so grateful to be a funny woman, honestly. I think that, you know, I'm lucky, but I wish that they would give opportunities at night to more women. I know they give Lily Singh her show, but I'm sorry, to me, and she's fine at it, but they like pre-tape like 50 in a week. It's not a nightly show like Fallon or Seth or Jimmy or Steven have. So it's not the same thing. That already sets her up in a negative way because she can't be current. And what's the point of having a show like that? Right. So that's really, I just want to be the Graham Norton of America. That's my dream. You're
obsessed with Graham Norton. Same. He was actually a judge on Drag Race UK. Netflix stand-up, I feel like everyone has had a Netflix comedy special. I mean...
Well, not everybody. No, that's not true. Well, the thing with stand-up is that unless... I mean... And I understand it. You can't really sell a special if you go to a platform and go, just trust us, you know? And I have, obviously, like, I have some structure to my shows, but, you know, it's a tough sell. And the truth is, if I was a guy, would it be an easier sell? Without a doubt, yes. Period. Yeah. I have no doubts. And I'm not asking for sympathy. I think I'm funnier than most of those guys. It's just, I do believe there's a stigma, 100%.
Yeah, and also a stigma that people attach to women in comedy, like, oh my God, you're a woman who's a comedian? Whoa! Like,
well, no, the other thing is, you know, and I don't do like a ton of sex stuff. Like, I don't, you know, talk about, I mean, I do here and there, but it's clever and it's not just like, my pussy, like, la la la, which those girls are funny too. But I think that that's more palatable when women sexualize themselves immediately on stage. I think happens a lot. And I'm not, but that's like actually an ignorant thing I just said. That's not really true. There's so many funny, that's a very small handful of women, but I'm just saying that in my experience over the years, things are changing now for the better, but it can be frustrating. But I also have to reflect on myself here. I can't blame other people too. You know, it's partially my fault as well. No question about it. So, you know.
Well, we would love a Michelle Collins stand-up special and just anything. I mean, because like
to Hulu
or Netflix. Hey, let me call my homie at Netflix.
That'll help.
Listen, I'm gonna let you go because Instagram's gonna time us out. But it has been a pleasure and honor to talk to you. And thank
I
you so
had the
much for coming
best
on my
time.
show.
I really enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I don't, let me just end by saying I'm not, none of my ideas have to be smart. Does that mean so? Like, I may have said things that were kind of stupid just now, and that's okay. I'll own up to it, honestly. But you know,
And that's why we authentically love you, Michelle. So okay, World Cap, we have Midnight Snack 2 times a week, Tuesday and Thursdays. And then we have the Michelle Collins Show, channel 109, Sirius XM. Get into it. 3 hours a day, Monday 7 to 10, Monday to Friday 7 to 10.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 10. Thank you, and thank you for having me. And you're fabulous at this. And I wish that Drag Race would let you like judge and you know what I mean, like put a shirt on and be yourself. You know.
Hey,
I mean, it's a great gig.
thank you. But you know what? Things are on the horizon, girl. Just things are on the
I
horizon.
really
I
hope
hope.
so. You're really great at this, and I want everything to happen for you. So thank you for having me.
Likewise, boo. You take care. Get that new car and stay safe.
Thank you, and come on my Sirius show next time you're promoting something. Please come join us.
I would love to. That's
All
awesome.
right.
Michelle, you're the best. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me, Jason. Bye, everybody. Nice to talk to you. Bye.
Bye.